Coming up on SCTV3, see what the school is doing to celebrate Black History Month.
Plus, see what Springfield College was like 20 years ago.
All that and more tonight on SCTV3.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to this edition of SCTV3 Weekly News. I'm Liam Riley.
And I'm River Mitchell. Thank you for joining us.
We begin tonight's show here on Alden Street, taking a look at Black History Month. Each year throughout the month of February, Springfield College holds events to honor and celebrate Black history and heritage, as many others across the country use this month to do the same.
I spoke with a few members of the campus community about what Black History Month means to them and why it's so important.
February marks Black History Month, as many across the grid take the time to honor Black heritage and also spread awareness about the suffrage and injustice that African Americans have and continue to face. For several members of the campus community, this is more than just a month. It's personal.
I was a bullying victim, and I was bullied for a very long time for being Haitian. And so I actually developed this inferiority complex, and I didn't start loving myself and appreciating my culture until I was an undergraduate student. The bullying got so bad that my mother had to get private transportation for me and my brother. It just wasn't safe for us to be on the school bus. To me, Black History Month is personal, right? Black History Month is not just about Black history, it's world history, it's American history. And to me, it's life-changing history.
Throughout the month of February, the school is also holding a number of events in honor of Black History Month. The school held a community mixer on Monday from 12 to 1, and Black History Month trivia going on right now in the Union Cafe. They're also holding a movie talkback about the movie Black Power Salute and an African dance night a week from today at 7. The final event is a legacy ball held next Saturday at 6 in Dodge CNF. Each year, the school treats Black History Month with reverence, something that is appreciated by many members of the campus community.
It makes me happy. It's awesome to kind of have our own little group where we can just kind of be ourselves and it's just like be together, celebrate different like little winnings and stuff like that. And it's just happy to be at a school that also supports that and provide the resources for that as well.
It means a lot because there are many students who are having similar experience as I am. There are many students, not only elementary or middle school students, but there are students here at Springfield College, and I'm not saying they're being bullied, but they struggle with their identity. They struggle to think that they're enough. They struggle to see the beauty in their heritage, and so I hope Black History Month really helps them come into terms with this powerful history.
People can show support by attending events and sharing posts featured on the Black Student Union's social media platforms.
Springfield College's School of Health Sciences is seeking applicants for the department's new Simulated Participant program. The program begins in about 3 weeks and focuses on providing those in the medical field and students who someday want to be with valuable experiences in treating patients. Those assisting with the program are paid $20 an hour for their work and are meant to mirror the situation and symptoms of an actual patient, caregiver, or medical professional. Simulated participants allow students to gain hands-on experience and give them the ability to make mistakes in a low-stakes environment. Two strengths of the program.
They can practice with real people, but simulated ones, and they can learn communication skills or examination skills, and then they can really improve themselves in those areas.
Anyone interested can apply to be a simulated participant on the Springfield College careers page.
No one's lonely for Valentine's Day here on Alden Street as students gathered in the Flynn Campus Union for Cupid's Bingo last night. Bingo has been a staple tradition at Springfield College over the past few years, and the holiday-themed bingos are always a great time. With raffles and prizes such as a Nintendo Switch or a Roku TV, students from all over campus pack the Union with hopes of winning it all and bring home a big prize. Although not everyone can win, it is still a great time with friends and the Springfield College community as a whole. Be sure to check out CAB's Instagram page for more events just like this.
Beginning on Friday, March 13th, the Occupational Therapy Program will host its annual Adulting Academy on campus. The Adulting Academy is a community-focused workshop program designed to help young adults develop essential life skills for independent living. The workshops are supervised by faculty, but led by second-year occupational therapy graduate students. The initiative offers hands-on practical training to prepare the participants for the responsibilities of adulthood. The program's goal is to empower the participants and their families through learning necessary skills that promote confidence and independence. Dr. Amanda Rodriguez of the OT program came up with the idea and gave her insight as for what the biggest takeaway of the event is.
I think a lot of times the parents are apprehensive about giving their kids so much freedom. Like, they've had to care for them in so many different ways that they're a little bit nervous about, like, will my child be able to do this? And the biggest thing is that last day we have our celebration and the family gets to see what their individual, their young adult has accomplished. And people are literally in tears because they never thought so many things could be capable. And we show them, like, this individual is capable of this and so much more.
For more information on the Adulting Academy, including an application to sign up for the workshop, head to springfieldcollege.edu.
The YMCA has been a pillar of community support for 181 years in the United States, and this week, Springfield College's Y Club hosted a special guest speaker. Jenna Hartnett from the Indian Valley Family YMCA in Ellington, Connecticut, shared stories of the YMCA's impact from partnerships and programs to helping underserved and homeless communities. The event highlighted the organization's long history of community service and the role students can play in continuing that mission, encouraging students to get involved and make a difference through service and leadership. Hartnett explained how Springfield College students can take part in the YMCA's mission.
So there's YMCA's all over the country. I would say just look for the one nearest to you and get involved. All you have to do is really get your foot in the door. So whether it's volunteering, employment, anything like that, reach out to anybody who works there and let them know that you're interested.
Y Club meetings will be held on March 10th, April 7th, and May 5th. Students interested in joining can attend any upcoming meeting to learn more about how to get involved.
The weather has been warming up on Allen Street, with the high this week getting up into the high 30s. Will the temperature continue to climb, or is another cold snap on the horizon? We turn it over to SCTV3's Caleb Knowles in Studio B with our local and national weather update. Caleb, what are you seeing?
Well, Liam, temperatures aren't the main concern this week. It's actually the snow that could cause some issues. The coldest high that we're going to see over the next 7 days actually comes tomorrow, but overall, the weekend is shaping up to be pretty nice, with daytime highs staying in the mid to upper 30s and not cooling down until well past sunset. Things start to shift as we head into next week, though, with 3 out of the 4 days currently calling for snow. It begins Monday with some light flurries throughout the day, and then with a break on Tuesday. By Wednesday and Thursday, however, we could see another 2 to 4 inches of accumulation. So if you're planning to be out and about in the next week, you might want to keep a shovel handy. Now to a national weather update. Snow isn't just impacting the East Coast and Springfield College. The West Coast is dealing with the heavy conditions as well. Chain controls are now in effect on several roadways through Placer County, California, as winter weather continues to impact travel in the mountains. Drivers heading over the passes are being urged to prepare for slick roads and reduced visibility. A dense fog advisory has also been issued, creating hazardous conditions at the times, prompting officials to encourage motorists to slow down and use extra caution looking ahead. The forecast in the Sierras calls for 6 to 12 inches across the peaks and passes, with ski resorts expected to get up to 12 to 18 inches from this coming system. That wraps up this week's local and national weather update. Now, Liam and River, back to you in Studio A.
After the break, we have our weekly Q&A with 2 alumni who recently worked at the Super Bowl. You're watching SCTV3 Weekly News. Stay tuned.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Two former communications and sports journalism students covered the big game over the weekend. Jessamine McIntyre for Seattle Sports Radio 93.3 KJR and Alberto Martinez Gonzalez for Patriots Espanol. I spoke to both about what the experience was like and advice they'd give to current students.
I manage all of, the station in conjunction with my boss, who is the vice president of programming. But it is just making sure that we are covering all the right things at the right times, doing it in the right way.
We gotta plan out our scope. We gotta plan out how the episode's gonna go. We usually do just a little bit of time of us just talking about our week, the game that just passed, and then we bring in either ESPN, Fox, Univision, just reporters and analysts to discuss the upcoming game.
It was really, really fun in a weird way. I was not a person that came into it with a fan way of viewing it. I didn't go, wow, this is cool. I said, I got a job to do. I got to go interview the MVP of the game, Kenneth Walker. Hey, the GM's in the locker room, and it was just a free-for-all in there.
It was intense. It was a lot, very little sleep, a lot of just running around, being all over the city. But it was absolutely magical. The amount of people I got to meet, the amount of famous people I got to meet.
If you don't love the grind, that's okay. It's okay. It's not like you failed or anything. There's a million things you can do with your degree, especially with the experience that you get. But if you're in the grind, then you're exactly where you should be.
Be a chameleon. Everything you can find, everything you can learn, make sure you learn it because it's going to help you out in the long run. Good connections with your professors. I got this job thanks to Fadi and Marty. So make those relationships, do your work, and it goes by quick, so just enjoy it.
Also representing Springfield College in San Francisco on Sunday was 2007 graduate Nick Casanova as NBC's Vice President of Programming and Rights Management. Now, we turn to our top national stories of the week.
The frantic search for Today Show co-host Savannah Guthrie's mother continues in Tucson, Arizona. Now, the Sheriff's Department tells CBS News it is investigating a possible ransom note along with other leads. SCTV3 reporter Caleb Knowles has more on the story.
Authorities say they believe the 84-year-old mother of Savannah Guthrie was abducted from her home sometime late Saturday night into the early Sunday morning. Critical questions still loom as the search for Nancy Guthrie, mother of the Today Show co-host, stretches out.
We do believe that Nancy was taken from her home against her will.
Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos confirms an apparent ransom note sent to a local TV station is now a part of the investigation. In it were specific details about the 84-year-old's home and what she was wearing the night she went missing, but he could not confirm its authenticity.
It's like any piece of evidence. You give it to us. You give us a lead. We're going to look at every aspect of that lead and work it as a lead.
TMZ also says it received a note demanding millions of dollars in Bitcoin and forwarded it to the sheriff. This news breaks out as cameras captured what appeared to be a small amount of blood outside of Nancy Guthrie's home. Nanos says a little bit of blood was found inside the home as well.
We've submitted all kinds of samples for DNA, and we've gotten some back, but nothing to indicate any suspects.
The FBI is assisting in conducting interviews and analyzing local cell phone data. The agency is also looking for the public's health.
Every lead and tip is important. We are aggressively pursuing and looking into every single one.
As the search continues, the sheriff says he doesn't believe the broader community is in danger. Reporting for SCTV3, I'm Caleb Knowles.
The Pima County Sheriff's Department and the FBI have set up tip lines for any information that could help with the search. Authorities continue to sound the alarm bells that the clock is ticking to find Nancy Guthrie because she requires vital daily medication that they believe was left behind when she was taken.
On Monday, a court order blocked the deportation of Rumeza Ozturk, who was arrested in May following her involvement of an op-ed tat criticizing Tufts' response to the Gaza-Israel war. SCTV3's Cal McCander has more.
In court documents filed on Monday, an immigration court blocked the deportation of Rumeza Ozturk, a Turkish Tufts University graduate student. In March of 2025, ICE agents arrested Ozturk right outside of her home in Somerville, Mass, after she co-authored an op-ed criticizing Tufts' response to the Israel-Gaza war.
This has been very difficult time for me, for my community at Tufts, at Turkey, but I am so grateful for.
The Department of Homeland Security revoked her F-1 student visa, and ICE initiated deportation proceedings against her. A Department of Homeland Security spokesperson said federal investigators concluded that, quote, she engaged in activities in support of Hamas, unquote. Ozturk's attorney filed a lawsuit in April of 2025 arguing that the arrest and detention violate free speech and due process.
I was so tired of witnessing cries and pain that can be all preventable.
Unsealed court documents show that DHS had no evidence to show she was supporting terrorist activity, which they had claimed when they revoked her student visa. Ozturk was officially released from the ICE detention center on bail in May of 2025 and was allowed to resume her doctoral studies while her case continued. It wasn't until Monday where the court terminated the deportation proceedings for Ozturk, effectively blocking her removal from the U.S. For SCTV3, I'm Callum Wikander.
Ozturk's initial op-ed consisted of asking the school to acknowledge the Palestinian genocide, apologize for University President Sunil Kumar's comments, and divest from companies with direct or indirect ties to Israel.
There was a close call in Georgia after a small plane was forced to make an emergency landing on a road, hitting several cars along the way. SCTV3's Tyler Semenich has more.
Dramatic video captures the moment a small plane is forced to land on a busy road in Gainesville, Georgia, using the street as an emergency runway. The aircraft struck several vehicles as the pilot attempted to touch down, urgently telling air traffic controllers he was experiencing trouble.
Mayday, mayday, mayday. We're not going to make it. Please tell my wife, Molly, I love her, and my parents. I love them so much.
But they survived. Everyone walked away safely, despite damage to the plane and at least 3 cars just north of Atlanta.
Off out of Gainesville and tried to glide back, did everything by the book, but realized we weren't going to make it back with how far out we were. So, came down the road.
The flight came to a dramatic end during the lunch hour, after departing from Tennessee about 90 minutes earlier. The FAA says the pilot reported engine problems, and the agency has launched an investigation. First responders on scene say only minor injuries were reported. Reporting for SCTV3, I'm Tyler Semenich.
Officials say everyone is expected to be okay as federal investigators work to determine what caused the flight's emergency.
After the break, SCTV3's Dante Iafredi has you covered on SCTV3 Sports Extra.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut, the one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink, or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking, now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed, better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead, catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
on Alden Street. Two Springfield College men's gymnasts picked up a pair of weekly awards from the College Gymnasts Association for their performances against William and Mary. After earning weekly honors from the Eastern College Athletic Conference, men's gymnast Peyton Kramer was named to the College Gymnasts Association Co-Gymnast and Co-Specialist of the Week, after breaking the program's pommel horse record under the new scoring system with a 14.450. Along with Kramer, Skylar Cook earned Co-Rookie of the Week honors, winning the high bar with a career-best 13.200. Cook spoke about what winning the award means to him.
Like, it was nice to get a season high, hit the routine for the team because it got like our highest score ever for this new code. So it was really nice to be able to clutch up and hit for the team. It was cool.
Springfield's men's gymnastics team now turns its attention to a dual meet against defending national champions Michigan and former Olympic standout Fred Richard on Saturday. The men's and women's swimming and diving programs have been impressive far beyond the diving boards and the swimming pool. The teams have also been recognized for their efforts in the classrooms. Earlier this month, the Springfield College men's and women's swimming and diving teams were honored for its success both in the classroom and in the pool, earning CSCAA Scholar All-American Team honors. This fall, 701 programs from 411 institutions nationwide were recognized. The women's team posted a new MAC best 3.85 grade point average, and the men's team ranked third in the conference with a 3.51 GPA, trailing only MIT and WPI. Junior swimmer Bridget Hogan expressed the ways that coaches preach being a student before an athlete.
Our coaches are very big on you're a student before you're an athlete. So they're very understanding if you have an exam, a big exam coming up and you're stressed. One of my teammates recently told my coach, I'm really stressed out. Like, is there any chance I could practice earlier in the day and use practice time to study in the library? And he was very accepting and helped out with that.
Both teams now turn their focus to the New MAC Championships, which get underway on Thursday, February 19th. We now turn it over to when Springfield athletes will be in action this upcoming week. This coming week will be a light one schedule-wise, with only 2 home games taking place. On Saturday, men's volleyball looks to continue its hot start against another top 20 opponent in Wentworth at 6 p.m. And men's basketball hosts Clark for a New MAC battle in Blake Arena on Wednesday at 7. Turning it over to the majority of Pride teams who are hitting the road this week. Men's and women's and track and field will compete in 2 invitationals this weekend, beginning in Boston at the David Henry Valentine Invitational. On Saturday, the Pride travel east to Tufts University for the Jumbo Invitational. Men's and women's gymnastics both compete at noon on Saturday, with the women battling Rhode Island College and the men making the trek to Ann Arbor, Michigan. And capping off is wrestling, facing off with WPI at 1 on Saturday. If you would like any extra information regarding Springfield athletics, head to springfieldcollegepride.com. This week's Athlete of the Week interview is Jacob DeGeer. The standout senior wrestler has cemented his place as one of the best to ever wear the maroon and white. After adding another accomplishment to an already impressive career, I caught up with DeGeer as he looks back on his journey on Alden Street. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Athlete of the Week interview on SCTV3 Sports Extra. I'm here joined with Jacob DeGeer, member of the men's wrestling team here at Springfield College. Jacob, thank you for joining me. So obviously you previously just passed James Bethel on Sunya Anyanata for the all-time pins record in Division III history. You now stand alone at 93. When you think back to when you first started wrestling, do you ever imagine yourself sitting here thinking that you could hold a record with that kind of stature?
No. I mean, I was always a basketball player, I guess, growing up, until my kindergarten phys ed teacher told me that I should wrestle because I was aggressive in phys ed class, so he thought I should try it out. So, I mean, ever since then, I started wrestling, had to stop playing basketball because same season, and then, yeah, I mean, no, definitely not.
That's I definitely did not expect that for your basketball player. Obviously, now you transitioned to wrestling. What was that transition like, I guess, obviously now? When did you make that decision to stop playing basketball and solely focus on wrestling itself?
I stopped probably middle school. I mean, I was on varsity wrestling as a 7th grader, so I was definitely a little bit better at wrestling than I was basketball, so it didn't make much sense to keep doing that. So,
is there a specific moment in your career that stands out to you where you had to fight through some adversity, and how did you handle that adversity?
Yeah, I mean, I've had 2 shoulder surgeries, so I guess getting through that, like coming back from those injuries. My sophomore year, I took 3rd in the country, and then junior year, I tore my labrum for the 2nd time. I did it in high school, but I did it for the 2nd time here. So coming back from that, just I mean, recovering again, which is just like, it's just such an annoying injury. You can't really do anything. So getting back from that, a 6-month recovery again, getting back to where I was before, I did that, and then I was an All-American. As a junior, I took 6th, so.
Yeah, not many can say that they've been through that much and can still be an All-American. But everybody sees the pins. They obviously don't see the work that you put in throughout the season. What does a typical week of training look like for you when you're in season?
A lot of weight management. I mean, I'm probably up to 20 pounds over every week. So like fluctuating through 20 pounds. I mean, I'm up to like over 190 every week. Then throughout the week, I work it down, maintaining what I'm eating, hard practices every day. And then eventually making weight on Friday or Saturday. And then I rehydrate before my match, right back to it. I mean, I'm 190 on Sunday, have to lose the weight again. So it's a long season, and I don't think a lot of people realize what goes into it.
Is there a specific match or pin that you've had? Obviously now you broke the all-time pins record. Is there anything that stands out to you in a specific match or pin that really sticks with you throughout your career?
Yeah, I think the coolest one was my sophomore year at Nationals. I wrestled the #1 seed, and I pinned him in 12 seconds. So that was like, I mean, no one expected that to happen, so that was pretty cool.
What was your reaction to when that obviously happened? People kind of think about, the first thing I can think about is Conor McGregor and Jose Aldo, that type of situation where he got knocked out that quick and it surprised everybody. When you did that, did you even surprise yourself?
I don't know if I'd say it surprised myself. I have like this weird wrestling style. Like I kind of do what I'm not supposed to be doing. Like I've always wrestled the same way. If you ask any coach, they'd say like, don't do that. Like, why are you wrestling like that? And it works. So, I mean, I just have always wrestled that way. Miles wrestles a similar style. So, just
stick to it. I mean, it's obviously been working for you, but I guess kind of a message for younger wrestlers growing up. Obviously, you talked about how you made the transition from basketball to wrestling. Is there like a life lesson that wrestling has taught you that you can kind of give advice to the younger wrestlers trying to make a name for themselves as well?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like being disciplined. Like it just teaches discipline. I mean, there's a quote that says, "Once you've wrestled, everything else in life is easy," and it's actually true. Like there's so much that goes into being good at this sport, and like once you do it, like everything else is just like nothing's as hard as this. So.
Well, obviously, thank you for taking the time to talk to me, but I want to ask you one more question. There's only been 5 student athletes to ever even eclipse 100 pins. I don't know if that's something that's been on your mind. You have 4 dual meets left. Is that something that's going to be in the back of your head going forward?
Yeah, we had the 3 this weekend, so I'm at 96 now. So yeah, so I need 1 more against WPI, hopefully, and then 3 more at regionals and nationals would be over 100. So, I mean, not worried about it too much. More worried about winning nationals, but yeah, that'd be definitely pretty cool to do.
Obviously, a bigger team focus. Well, Jacob, thank you. I appreciate you taking the time to talk with me. Well, that will do it for this week's Athlete of the Week interview. This past weekend, the men's volleyball team hosted the Morgan Classic men's volleyball tournament, making its 36th appearance in the Classic. SCTV3 reporters Caleb Knowles and Tyler Semenich were in Blake Arena and have more on the story.
The Morgan Classic has become one of the most historic men's volleyball tournaments in Division III history. For Springfield College, this year marked its 36th appearance in the event, dating back even before the program's first of 11 national championships in 1997. But the Morgan Classic is more than just a tournament. Each year, it also features a clinic for high school players and coaches, allowing them to learn from some of the best Division III volleyball programs in the country. Springfield College has hosted the Classic since 1992, after the tournament was originally held at Holyoke High School. It's a tradition that the men's volleyball team takes great pride in representing each year.
No, it's a great collaboration with the Hall of Fame, and the Volleyball Hall of Fame does a great job of supporting the tournament, and it has become a premier event in the community for the volleyball community locally. So we get a lot of people coming from the surrounding areas, even like Maine, New York, that come to our clinics on Saturday. So it's just something that's kind of really special in the volleyball community here, and I think it helps build the community, so it's a big honor to be part of it.
The Milestone Weekend honors the very roots of the sport. Named after volleyball's founder William G. Morgan, the Morgan Classic continues the tradition of showcasing elite talent at the site of the game's first public exhibition, while also emphasizing development through player and clinics. This year, a packed Blake Arena set the stage for 4 high-level matchups. On Friday night, top-ranked Springfield swept third-ranked Stevens Tech in 3 sets to advance to the championship match. Awaiting them was 20th-ranked Hobart College, which defeated Drew University on Friday night to punch its ticket to the final. Springfield would go on to defeat Hobart to claim the Morgan Classic title, winning in the 3 sets and the tournament for the 9th time in the last 10 years. The MVP of the performance, Brennan Cutter, spoke about performing at the Morgan Classic.
I mean, it's a great opportunity every time we are able to play in Blake Arena and host 3 great teams. Yeah, I mean, it's a great job of our team competing tonight, and yeah, it's a real big honor to host this tournament.
The Morgan Classic is hosted by the International Volleyball Hall of Fame and played at Springfield College each year, honoring the invention of the sport by William G. Morgan in nearby Holyoke, Massachusetts. Reporting for SCTV3, I'm Caleb Knowles.
That will do it for this edition of SCTV3 Sports Extra. Stay tuned after the break to see what Springfield College was like 20 years ago.
My opponent is completely disregarding almost half of my arguments which I responded to.
Communities must step up
Laws
and
alone
protest
cannot
against this
stop
normalizing.
bullying.
Well, I completely disagree.
Point of inquiry, do you guys even realize that the #1 killer of children and teens are gun injuries?
You're probably starting to realize now, this is not a debate.
There is no adult in this earth that wants children to die.
I worry for my kids.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.
Over the last 2 decades, Springfield College has grown and developed, adding new buildings and making the campus more appealing. However, a lot has still stayed the same. Here's more.
If one were to walk through Springfield College in 2026 after not being back for 20 years, odds are they'll notice some of the changes that have taken place on Alden Street. However, they would also notice that for the most part, campus is relatively the same. So the real question is, what was Springfield College like 20 years ago? And how much has the school changed?
I don't think a lot has changed in a lot of ways. So I feel like the student body, the students that I deal with are relatively similar, still enthusiastic, still very positive on being able to change the world and do things in the world.
However, for some who have been around campus for a number of years, they have seen quite a few changes. This includes Charles Redmond, who has been around Springfield College since the 1960s.
I think one that comes to mind immediately would be the physical nature of the campus. I think that the leadership under President Flynn and the leadership under President Cooper have realized the importance of an attractive campus and a functional campus. We have absolutely, over this whole 20-year period and continuing today, remarkable facilities for a small, independent, nonprofit institution.
While the campus in a lot of ways has honestly remained the same, it has seen a lot of significant changes too, one of them being right behind me, the Harold C. Smith Learning Commons, formerly known as the Babson Library. It underwent renovations in the summer of 2016, and it's more a study space rather than the library. Only the 4th floor of the Learning Commons actually has books for you to rent out, unlike the old Babson Library. The other 3 floors are just filled with study spaces for students to do homework. Another major change on campus is the move of the Health Science Center. I'm currently standing behind the old one right now. You head down Alden Street and you will see the Brown Cooper Health Sciences Center, which opened up in the spring of 2024. And last but certainly not least, we have the closure and demolition of Gulick Hall. Gulick Hall was on campus for over 55 years and was the largest first-year dormitory on campus for the entirety of its time standing at Springfield College. Now, as you can see behind me, the building is basically completely torn down. Now, while there have been a few changes to the actual campus, in terms of the student body, it's remained fairly similar. However, there are a few differences between students then and students now.
We are a much more diverse campus than we were 20 years ago. And I think it's part of the recruiting process, part of accepting the responsibility of society. And I think Dr. Cooper, particularly Dr. Cooper, has done a remarkable job in enhancing the diversity of the campus. We run a luncheon for international students who don't go home for spring break. So we did it last year for the first time, and I had no idea that we have a whole cohort of students from Nepal.
Yeah.
And fascinating young men and young women as far as the difference we made. So one thing that has changed, which would maybe call me an old guy here, is that there's been a variety of traditions on campus. And one of them always had been that you go by someone on campus and you say, hello. I think that's drifted away, and I think part of that is technology. Students are on their phones, they're on their different, iPad types of things, a tendency to be looking down rather than looking forward.
Springfield College is also a school that is deeply rooted in tradition. In 2006, there used to be a rule that prohibited people from being out on the front green in front of the Union. However, when President Cooper came in, she quickly changed that rule. Another thing that has changed is Humanics in Action Day, with the Humanics philosophy on campus now looking a lot different after the removal of Humanics in Action Day.
The main reason is, if you can imagine, right, trying to find community activities to help the community out for 2,000 people all on one day, right, in one city is a very, very difficult thing to do. You would go out to like an institution and there would be like 25 of us, and only 2 of us would get to read a book to a class, right? Or you would go in little groups and you would each get a rake, right? And you had like a square thing where you could rake their yard or something along the lines. So the amount of good that I was able to do as an individual was less.
If you want to learn more about the history of Springfield College, you can schedule an appointment with College Archivist Jeff Monceau. And on that note, that will do it for this week's edition of SCTV3 Weekly News. Thank you for joining us.
Be sure to check out our YouTube channel where you can see every archived show. Also, be sure to check out SCTV3 on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter for more content.
We thank you all again for tuning in, and we will see you all for our show next Thursday. Same time,
same place.